I wanted to build this, but I didn't want to pay $200. I knew I could figure out a way to build it for less. I first bought the Kraft-Paper roll on Amazon for about $30, and I sketched a design based on the dimensions of the paper using one structural board, a dowel, and some eye hooks. I used some extra maple that I had lying around from my standing desk project. It was about 3/4 inches thick. The dimensions of the one structural board are about 5 inches wide by about 30 inches long. I used a radial arm saw to cut the pieces on the back side of the structural board, which I will explain later. I chamfered the edges of the structural board just to give it a little bit of personality and a little bit of style. Going down into the dungeon to gather some tools. Since we live in an apartment, I don't have a garage. This is my garage. Here are the two boards on the back side of the structural piece. The purpose of these boards is to bring the structural piece away from the wall about 3/4 of an inch to account for the little stub or the nub of the eye hooks showing on the opposite side, using glue and 1 1/4 inch drywall screws. There was a lot of measuring and a lot of planning involved in how much to cut off these eye hooks and where to position the actual paper roll on the wall. You can pick up these strap toggles at Home Depot or Lowe's. They're super simple. I countersunk these holes because the screws that were included were not long enough to go through the two pieces of the maple and the 3/4 inch drywall. So the first attempt at mounting the paper roll, the dowel is 1 inch and the eyes on the eye hooks are 1 inch. So I had to sand down the 4 or 5 inches to the outside of each end of the dowel to have them fit through, and it worked great. Putting in a cotter pin just to make sure the thing doesn't slip off. And now we're mounting the yardsticks. I cut them down a little bit because they were a little bit too long, and mounted them with pop toggles. And this was a fun idea where I attached Velcro to some Sharpies so that way they were right there whenever I needed them. So, I bought this kind of contact paper. It sucks. There's no backing to it. But on this kind of contact paper there's a backing that you peel off, and it's a lot better. The other kind doesn't stick to the wall. I put a test strip on, wrote test on it with a permanent marker, peels off, awesome. It sticks the way it should, and the Sharpie doesn't bleed through, which is what I'm looking for. Attaching the contact paper took some time, but it was worth it. It was a little finicky, it's a little fussy, but it turned out really nice. here's the finished product, guys. It turned out great. I like everything about it. What would I have done differently? There's one thing that didn't work very well about the paper roll, and that is tearing off the paper. When I'm done writing on this sheet, when it's all filled up, I want to tear a piece off with the bottom ruler, with the bottom yardstick, and it doesn't tear off very easily. One thing I looked for was a 2-foot hacksaw blade, but I don't think they make them. So my other idea, I have 2 more ideas. One is just take a razor knife and cut it every time I need to. I might use a piece of paper once every other week or something like that. The second idea was take those serrated edges in an aluminum foil container. Take those off and glue them to the back side of the yardstick. But other than that, it turned out great. I like getting my thoughts out on paper, whether it's in drawings or doodles or keywords, and this paper roll allows me to be creative in my social media endeavors. I hope you liked it. Let me know if you have any questions.